Okay, I mute myself first.
Yeah, sure. Right. Hi guys. So any point of time, just type in your questions if there's any. We try to keep it very casual. Just feel free to chime in if you think that there's something that you resonate with. So it's not something very formal. It's literally me and Bibi. I just give you guys some context first, okay? Me and Bibi were DMing on Instagram because I just posted on IG said that I taught my students, right, the importance of finding yourself first so that you can understand, you can find friends who like you. My apologies, guys. I was surprised. Who was it? Okay. So I was saying that it's very important for you to find yourself so that you can find the company that like you, the company that want to hire you, friends that like you, and your partner that love you. Suddenly, I attracted Bibi typing non-stop, Then, yeah, she was super passionate about this topic. And she suggested, hey, we should go IG live or we should just Zoom this and share with more people. I was like, you know me, I'm very adventurous. I'm saying, yeah, hell yes, let's do it. So that's why we're having this session, guys. Okay? So it's definitely not easy because I don't think Bibi talk about her relationship online. Have you?
I try to keep it. Actually, I'm a very private person lah.
Yeah.
So even though I know that my Instagram profile is like public, but actually I'm a very private person. Like, I don't like to like talk about like all these kind of things. Like even for me making my Instagram public, right? It took me like 1 year just to decide like yes or no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it comes to relationships, I'm usually quite private about it, even for like all like my past relationships. So I guess like how all this actually came about, like when I was like chatting with Daryl, right, I felt very passionate about this because I felt like this was like one of like my biggest breakthrough that I wish that someone really taught me when I was younger.
Yes.
Yeah, so like later we'll go into our stories and all that because I think like it's gonna be quite interesting lah. So yeah, this is a very casual session. It's not like a webinar. We don't have any slides or anything like that. It's just really me and Daryl sharing our experiences and like what has worked before. I mean for us over this few couple of years, and we have quite a bit of experience to be sharing with you guys.
Yeah, like it's gonna be very vulnerable, so you have to be understanding enough to is it okay, right? I just want to ask, is it okay for you to be non-judgmental? If it's okay, please type yes. So this is something that is you don't see people just going out there and just share their story. So we really want to inspire and like share our lessons lah. So please type yes. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Yeah, right. So that is I think right now I'm also shivering. Like I can talk about self-awareness, how kind of fuck shit, like, but when it comes to relationship, it's a different story. So maybe you want to start first?
Okay, actually just a disclaimer. It's like we are not like love coaches lah. So we are not like trying to say like, oh, this is good or like this is bad, or rather what has worked for us over the couple of years. So what we're going to be sharing with you today hopefully is something that you can implement in your own life as well. Actually the gist of it is like personal development is a huge part of building your relationships, knowing yourself like really, really well. Yeah, so a bit of my background is I had my first I was dating like quite a lot of people in the past lah. Right now I'm in a relationship now. Daryl's not my boyfriend. We have our own partners. Just to make this clear, because I saw like his comments like, oh, a lot of people think that okay, but no, it's not. Yeah, so last time I had like quite a bit of partners lah. I'm sure like Daryl kind of like shares similar experience. And Daryl likes to say this joke, which I find it so funny. Like he says like he's a salesperson. But who's your target customer, Daryl?
I'm the product and I'm the sales guy. I'm the salesman. My customers are the girls. So that was how I realized that I was good at sales, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So a bit of my background is when it comes to my dating background, right? Actually, in the beginning, I actually had like my first boyfriend when I was like 13 years old, and yeah, it's damn crazy. Like my parents like flipped after that. Like they were so like freaked out, and like they would check my phone and all that. Then they'll say like, okay, stop meeting that guy, stop like messaging that guy, and all that. It's quite funny lah. So after that, ever since like 13 years old, I've been like kind of like in and out of like relationships, and to be frank, I feel that majority of the relationships, I would say like 95% of them are like really, really like shitty relationships. I don't know if anybody can relate here, but if you can relate, just type me in the comments below so I know like how many of you actually, like most of your relationships are actually quite shitty one. Then, you know, I went through like the entire phase of like, hey, is something wrong with me? Then I think about things like, hey, actually, I'm not that bad leh. How come my relationship is so shitty? I think I'm a very kind person. You know, yeah, Daryl, how about you? Was it like a similar experience also?
I think for me, it was a non-stop since 12 years old. I went home, I tell my mom, hey, mommy, I got a girlfriend, 12 years old. But those kind of kiddie kind, I bet you guys also have, lah, right? So she was afraid, she was scared. Then she sent me to a boys' school. That's why 13 years old onwards, I was in a boys' school. She thought that can stop me from getting girls. No? Oh shit, she's wrong. I went to tuition, get girls. I went to everywhere, get girls. On the streets, also getting girls. So that was all the way until from 13 years old to 16, 17, working part-time, also getting girls. But all those are like the kiddie kind, like you guys know it. Yeah, man. So that's like on my end. My first one was 19 years old. Yeah. But okay, should I start with my serious girlfriend first? Should I?
Okay.
Okay, guys, let's get into it, the nitty gritty. So I guess along the way, okay, when I really gotten more matured, I realized that yeah, girls are essential part of my life. But I wondered to myself, like, why do I feel so lonely every single time? Why my life, right, always constantly need a girl since I was 13 years old, right? But at that point of time, I wasn't really thinking so much. I just did one after the other. There's no apps, but me, I was daring. I go on the streets and say, hey, you look cute. Can I get your number? Like, no bullshit, guys. I was that desperate. Boys' school got no girls. For sure. That is how I trained my sales skill, maybe. So that things move go on and on until when I was 19 years old. I went to a club. That's where I met my first girlfriend there. And I asked her to dance with me 3 times. She politely rejected twice. And I told her this, if I don't dance with you, I'll regret for the rest of my life. Holy shit, that was a solid close, no? She came down. From the freaking podium, she came down. And I still remember it was Zoom. Yeah. So after I danced with her, I tried to go in for the kiss. She rejected. She hid. I thought like, wow, shit, that was cute. She never make up with me. You know? So I was like, maybe this can be a girlfriend material or some bullshit like that. And what happened next was the next 8 days, I think, I dated her non-stop. Like back after back, day after day, back to back. And I asked her to be my girlfriend, recklessly said yes. What happened next, right, was the day, so it was 1 year later, I entered army. When I entered army, everything went spiraling into like trouble and havoc. Because I realized that during those days when we are together, right, she always have attention from me. Right? When I was those guys in army, how many of you got breakup during army? Raise a hand. You all got no breakup during your army days? Don't have. But yeah, that was hell. And I struggled because I remember BMT time, right? I have to talk to her on the phone until 3 a.m. Next day, morning I wake up at 5:30. And I scream, James haven't ended this. I screamed at her. I said, if you love me, why are you doing this to me? You're freaking selfish. And I was stuck, I was trapped. To make things worse, right? She was also struggling. And I shared you what she done, right? She went to cheat on me with another guy, which after that she told me the truth, lah, and which was a very hard thing to swallow. I booked out, I still remember it was a botanic garden, and when she cried and she said, if I tell you this, you will leave me for the rest of your life. You will not talk to me anymore. I said, no, I will. I will be by your side. Then I don't know what the hell she's going to tell me, right? So when she dropped the bomb and she said, I cheated on you, I was like, okay, no worries, no worries. I don't know why, in denial or maybe the natural reaction, right, to calm her first. And she was rich, so she stayed at Orchard Road. Just walk from Botanic Garden, we walked to Orchard Road. I walked her home, and I just stood there at the bus stop there. I just burst out in tears. I was like, wow, this is a damn heavy truth to take it in, man. And after that, 2 months later, right, I really tahan for 2 months. And I tahan saying that, like, yeah, I'll still love her the same. But it's the fact that I really cannot give her attention while I'm in the army. So she cheated not once, but twice. Same fucker. Same fucker. I promise you, I'm an engineer, you know. I learned bombing, those kind of bomb. I learned this kind of bullshit when I was in army. You know. In my head, I was thinking, how can I create one to bomb the fucker, that guy? That was how toxic it was, when I was in army. By the way, I'm not even looking at you guys right now because I'm very emotionally engaged in this story. So legit, it was damn pain. It was damn pain. So I asked myself, because people always say, right, loving the person means embracing everything, what? So I embraced, I accept. And to make things worse, right, was the fact that, okay, that I won't say. That's too much, I can't say. But that was the tipping point, and I said, you know what, I deserve better. And I pushed her out of my life. And that's why I broke up with her. Uh, if you ask me what did I learn from that, right? Okay, there's a pattern here, guys. There's a pattern here. She was from the club. She was from the club. Okay, what I internalized from that relationship, she was from the club, which meant that at that point in time, she was fun-loving. She was just looking to have some fun, and most likely she was struggling internally, and she wants some distraction. I'm saying that because I was at that phase of my life, right? I just needed companionship. I just want distraction. So we weren't really two people of the same attitude, value system, belief. Nothing. It's purely just out of that physical attraction, that lust, that maybe you can say that love for each other, but that's not strong enough to sustain a proper relationship. Like me being out of it, I can understand, internalize it. Then I was like, oh shit, it makes sense. But back then when I was in it, I'm like, ah shit, I don't want to lose her. She's so sweet to me, love my family so much. But I also identified that she got she got a attention deficit issue because she's from a single parent family. So, which means that she need me to fill up her gap. Following something, guys, you get it, right? So I didn't know all these things until I got together with her like six months in, 1 year in. Then how can I say, oh, I judge you because of that, I'm leaving you? I can't. So in some sense, I'm trapped because I love her already. Yeah. So I just maybe I just share all my story. Then after you share, right?
Okay.
So the second girl was, wow, shit, man. After this first girlfriend, right, I frankly speaking, guy being guy, I went to date a lot of more girls. I did a lot more girls. And I'm like just having fun. Until one girl from Thailand, holy shit, she caught my heart. So I was there for overseas trip with my parents. Hey, don't write notes, no, guys. You know, don't type any nonsense, or don't write notes. No. So it's just a sharing. So I was in Thailand, Bangkok for a family trip with my mom. Me and my mom are super close on, legit. I hop on the app Tinder, guys. You all also know Tinder lah, don't bullshit me. So I hop on Tinder and I play in Thailand. I was standing beside my mom. I said, Mommy, this one can or not? Can or not? So she swipe with me. Then we swipe one girl lah, the Thai girl, which was my ex-girlfriend. And my mother's first focus is, ask her where is nice to shop. Yeah. So after that, I chatted with her and she was very kind, very nice. During that trip, I didn't meet her, but we clicked so well. I flew back. Okay, I went back to Singapore. We still talked for 1 month. I actually flew back to Thailand just to find her. So my friends will say what? Gong Tao, you know, Gong Tao means kena poison, like kena blinded. So that was what happened to me. And I guess she's different. She's an atas Thai. She's not the Samtiu kind of Thai. Her family pay for her overseas studies, and she worked in US and things like that. So I really like the fact that she was very adventurous. So guys, key thing to learn lah. She is very adventurous. She's very she excites me, gives me all different kind of excitement, and that is something that I crave for deep down. And when I realized that, I was like, holy shit, that is something that I seek for in a partner. Means spontaneous, adventurous, let's do things together. She's that kind. Because I said I want to fly back to her. No, she was the one who challenged me to fly back and find her. That was why I was like, holy shit, challenge accepted. So she know what button to press. You get it right, guys? So fast forward, same thing, guys. The interesting is she also from a broken family. Wow, shit, man. But during the time, who cares whether broken family or not? I just go lah, right? Just have fun, man. Until 1 year in, we traveled non-stop. At that point in time, I was doing sales, making decent money. I traveled with her a lot. She was the one who changed me from don't like traveling to travel non-stop. I spent money like water, also because of her, right? And towards the end, I think she came for a lot of Chinese New Year. My relatives don't like her. And we ended because my ama everyday poison me lah, poison her, say that 这个女孩子不可以做老婆，不好不好 that kind of bullshit. And I really listened to my grandmother. I say I broke up with her lah. So for that chapter, right, my lesson learned was what? No? I don't regret, no doubt, because at that point in time, that was the partner that I was looking for. Someone exciting, right? Someone adventurous, teaching me new things every day. But I guess now that I look at relationship 1 and relationship 2, bloody hell, the same pattern is what? These people don't know themselves. These people from single family, they are dysfunctional within themselves, deep down. So there's something lacking. They want me to solve their problem. All right. To be frank, to be fair to them also, I was also solving a problem. I was solving what? The need for excitement in them. To be fair, I'm being very real right now, right? I use my partners to give me excitement because my daily life sucked. By the way, guys, that time I was not passionate in life at all. I was just escaping 9 to 5 on those kind of bullshit, right? So can I share the last story, right? Is that right now my current partner, this is something juicy, guys, and my current partner is in this room also. Hi, I won't disclose who. So hi, right? So current partner, uh, so she's one of my followers, and guys, this is law of attraction. I promise you. I tell my mom, this is something very secret. I'm going to share with you guys some insider news. I share with my mother. I say, Mommy, I put my life out there on Instagram, DMYK, showing people who I am. I believe one girl, right, will like me for who I am. True or not? Instead of me, going to clubs and attract girls because of my looks. She said, yeah lah, possible, we shall see. So after that, true enough, one day, this girl, my current girlfriend, she followed me on Instagram. We chatted those kind of formal stuff. Those of you who receive my DM, you will know. It's very formal. It's literally, how can I help you kind of text. So she also thought that it's just me doing it to everybody. So she never think too much about it. I never used dating apps for damn long. And it was time where I said, I want to be very serious about relationship. Not for excitement, but like, 娶老婆 that kind, get a wife. So I put my bio as if like legit looking for wife. And she was the first one that I swiped. And yeah, I think I just straight up right off the bat, I said, hey, I think you're cute. And I'm surprised that you're here. We took it off the app, and I invited her to come down for my class. How many of you know that I got class? Bingwei came, right? James also came. Yes, I tell you why, okay? I brought her to a class. She's listening to it right now. There's a reason why she come to my class, correct or not? So that I understand her in and out, so that to see whether she is someone who is purposeful or not, living purposefully or not. So literally, that is my qualifying process, guys. Last time I'm an idiot. I don't even have such things. Now I got a process, It's either you pass or you fail. So I know me, right? And when I see her, I saw a map, right? I noticed a couple of strengths. Very compassionate, very kind, loving, perspective, curious about life. And she's very adventurous as well. So all these things, at that point, I didn't like her. I just think that she's cute. So I look at it, I'm like, quite cool. And I personally want to pursue entrepreneurship and things like that. When I look at her map, she mentioned that she want to do an online store, e-commerce, run things like that. I was like, oh, another light bulb. When she draw her new identity, new dreams, she drew a family with two kids. And she just a very simple girl. She just want her family to afford whatever her family want. Then you guys know me lah. I want to be stay home there by 35 and things like that. So I'm like, that's a not too bad thing also. But guys, at that point of time, I wasn't thinking that she's a girlfriend material. Just as a student, as a coach, I'm looking at it. I just reviewing it lah, as per usual. Then all these data, for me, I like to connect the dots. I'm like, actually, this girl not too bad after all. Right? Then fast forward, I went to ask her out, and I date her, and everything has been great so far. And honestly, we just recently had a conflict. This is the real stuff, guys, juicy stuff. And I realized that my conflict came from after doing a lot of work every single day. I will still spend time with her, FaceTime her at night. Right? I think this is interesting. I think that I'm showing love to her by forcing myself to FaceTime her every night. Because accompanying her, right? But on her end, she just innocently accepted. Until one day, I said, I was just zoning off, not connecting her with her on a deeper level. And she couldn't take it. She said, what's the point of doing this for the sake of doing this? Then I was like, what do you mean? Then whole thing spill out. And I started internalizing. And I realized one thing. The reason why I do this to her is because subconsciously, my mom done that to me. That was how she showed love to me. She will do chores, okay? Extreme case, she'll do a lot of chores. Then she will start blaming that her children don't love her, never help her with the chores. Then after that, I say, Mommy, I got forced you to do chores for me, man. Then after that, she said, useless son, you don't love me, blah, 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 blah. Then I look at it, I'm like, shit, I'm mirroring what my mother done for me, to my girlfriend. And is that her fault? Is it my girlfriend's fault? Obviously not. So I literally internalized and I said, now I know that this is the bloody root cause. What can I do about it? That I do things for the sake of doing for my partners or for my family members or whatever. So with that awareness, I took action. I said, you know what? Ever since 2 days ago, I told her, let's have an agreement. If I don't feel like doing anything, I don't do at all. And I'll be upfront with you. Is that okay? She's super patient, super understanding. She said, yeah, sounds fair to me. It's okay. So I really appreciate what she has done for me. It's about embracing each other's differences, different parenting. It's really the parenting and what Bibi said, the personal development that shape your relationship perspectives. That was a very big lesson for myself. I didn't know that. Like how my mom shaped the way I love. And for her case, guys, for her case, right, I just share a bit, even though I don't know whether she allow. For her case is that her parents are always busy at work. So she needs attention. So can you get it? There's a pattern. The moment I didn't connect with her means what? I never give her attention. Hence, it flicked. She need it. Suddenly, now we have a conflict. So the best advice that I can share with you guys, right, is literally look into your partner's, right, root causes. Find out what are their past trauma, what shaped them to who they are today. By understanding that, right, you can literally, if best case, first date, pour your heart out, say, hey, I'm like that, you want, you take, don't want, don't take. Rather than 6 months later, then you tell them everything, actually, I got cancer, no. The guy, how can you put this bomb on the guy? The guy obviously say, oh shit, you got cancer, you should tell me day one, not in 6 months later. Same concept, right? Tell them your flaws, your weaknesses. They embrace, they accept it. If not, don't waste time on the wrong partner. I guess this is the best thing I can share with you guys, man. So as of now, based on my real life story, these are the stories that I can share with you guys. Bibi, on your side now.
Okay, actually, just to add on to what Daryl has shared, right? So there's one thing important which I feel that I learned along the years is that everyone understands the word love in a very different way. So what Daryl has shared, right, is how his mother taught him to love. But how his girlfriend was taught to love was probably something else. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So recently, me and my boyfriend, like I realized something very, very weird one. Because my family, right, we are very, very, very close-knitted. We do like almost everything together. We have like meals together, and basically everything is like we do it together one. But for his family, everybody's like super independent one. Like even his mom is like a super independent woman, and that was how he was being brought up, right? And then like one day we were just like having dinner. I was having dinner at his place, and then he will always just scoop his own rice, take his own fork and spoon, and then he just sit down and eat without me. And I was like, hey, how come you never take rice for me? I was like, okay, but you see, when these kind of things happen, right, you just have to understand how they were being brought up and how they were being taught to love. And just because he doesn't like take my rice for me and like my fork and spoon for me, doesn't mean that like he doesn't like love me. I think a lot of people will just jump to a conclusion and say that, hey, you don't do that for me doesn't mean that you don't love me. No, it's not true. It's just that they were taught love in a different way. So we actually like sat down and talked about it lah. Then after that we realized that, because like my family, like we always do everything for each other. Whenever we have like dinner, one person will be scooping the rice for everybody, the other person will be taking like the fork and spoon, washing, the other person will be like setting the table. So yeah, but in his family, everything is like super independent, like your own time, own target kind of thing. You take your own things, like don't come bother me kind of thing lah. So in a way it's like that lah. So that's one very important thing that you guys need to know. And I feel like Daryl, sorry, I can relate very well also lah. I didn't get cheated on before, so I didn't have to go through that. But I don't know how many of you guys went through the process of like breaking up before. It's actually very, very, very painful. And the thing that you actually spoke about, like discovering that there are patterns in your life, that was something like I did this activity before a couple of years ago, and it made me realize a pattern in my life also. Okay, so there was this activity, right, that I think is called like your lifeline or something like that. So you're just supposed to draw like one line in the middle of your piece of paper, and then you're supposed to draw a graph of like your entire life from when you're young all the way until where you are today. And you're supposed to draw like the ups and downs of your life, like which is the highest point of your life, which is the lowest point of your life, which is the highest point of life. You can visualize that, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So every time I draw it down, right? And then after that, I realized, I was like, how come every time I down has to do with a guy and has to do with my relationship one? And then I was like, this is very bad, no? This is so bad to the point where I am letting a guy, like a relationship, control my life. I was like, wow, it's damn bad, Then after that, and just so happened at that point of time, I was in a very, very extremely toxic relationship. It's the most toxic relationship I have ever been in my entire life. And then I always see myself as someone that's like, I don't think I'm a very bad person. But of course, I mean, like, I always just see myself, so I might be biased. I just feel like I don't think I'm a very bad person. I'm quite kind-hearted. I'm quite patient also. But then, like, it was true, like, drawing that line, I realized that, something is wrong over here. Like, what pattern is this? And, just that I was like talking to the coach, and then I realized something that is very, very important lah. And what he actually told me, right, is that you know what, what you're actually focused on right now is, in a way, you're depending on like another person for your happiness. And that kind of like hit me like a truck. And I just happened to, after like I ended the toxic relationship, there was just this random thought that came to my mind that says like your outer world is like a reflection of your inner world. And at that point of time, it's really one of the worst periods of my life. Like, I really seriously contemplated like committing suicide and all that. It was so bad. But then it's not my first time dealing with depression already. So I kind of like know that, okay, I know that I have to get out of this, and there are certain things that I need to do. But at that point of time, it just came so clear to me that, like, I always thought like I was okay and all that, no, everything's going fine. But then it was that period of time, that point of time where I realized that, oh shit, I'm really like messed up on the inside. Yeah, that was when I realized that, okay, you know what, I think that I have to work on myself in order to attract someone else. And who you are on the surface is not the same person as you are on the inside. I don't know how I can explain this better, but there are kind of like, in a way, like two personalities like within you. One is like your outer self, and one is like your inner self. And that's about like, that's why, personal development and all, art of internalizing.
Let's plug there.
Yeah, that's the art of internalizing. Like, who are you really, on the inside? And a lot of people, they just take things on like the surface level, but they don't ask themselves like deep enough. And back to like my relationships, right? Oh my god, I was in and out of so many relationships. I definitely had more serious relationships than Daryl. Yeah, so it was through there was this, I had this, one of my longest relationship. I think it was close to 4 years. It's a bit difficult for me to be talking about it, but I really want you guys to learn something from this. And 4 years, we were gonna get married already. He was always talking about, oh, we should like get married, like have kids and all that kind of thing. But back then I was still a uni student. I was like, wow, I damn scared, like, I was like, hey, don't want lah, get married, you crazy, I haven't even graduated yet. Yeah, so, and he was running a business line. I guess it was like quite successful, so quite stable already. But I was very, very scared back then. But then, it came to the point where he would say things like, he would degrade my friends, or he would like laugh at my friends. He say, hey, your friends damn childish lah, don't hang out with them. Or like, he will make fun of his friends. He say like, hey, this guy will never be successful in business lah, like he's damn bad and all that kind of things. And then I was like, hey, I don't think like you should be saying these kind of things about my friends. And I think like over time, like as this passed on, right, it just kind of like kept accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. And after a while, I just felt like, okay, you know what, this is enough. I think I don't want to be hanging out with a person like that. Even though like after I confronted him about it, he said that he's just joking. But I feel like these are very nasty things to say. Like, why do you want to talk about these kind of things about other people? It's like, it's just not very nice. Yeah, then after that, like, yeah, we just decided to like call it quits. And after shortly, then I regretted. Yeah. But then I felt like looking back now, I still felt like it was the right decision to make. And this is another very important point. And I feel like a lot of people need to know more about this, is that you need to know what your values are and what you stand so strongly for. Have non-negotiables that people cannot break. Like for example, if like your non-negotiables is like cheating, for example, you have to stand firm on it. Otherwise, like, I don't know, I feel like most of the time, like people, once they cheat, you forgive them, then they say, okay, I'm forgiven, so I can cheat again. kind of thing. So even people like, oh, I don't like date smokers, but then I see this guy, I was like, wow, this guy like really very cute leh. And I was like, okay, right, Daryl. Yeah, I was like, okay, so I'll break my rules just to be together with this guy. Trust me, like you will end up like it's damn bad one lah. So that's why it's like it starts with beginning to know about yourself really, really well. What are your non-negotiables, and stand firm in that. Don't like let someone, just because he's cute and all that. I mean, I had that happen to me way too many times. It's through looking past all these relationships and then identifying the pattern, what's happening, and then after that. So last time when you fall in love, right, you're very emotional one. It's just like, oh, it's like chemistry and like sparks flying. You don't know how to think logically. It's like you lost your brain and then, But when you have this set of like non-negotiables, right, it will help you in a way like stay rooted and grounded lah. To know that you are not being taken aback by like your emotions. So for me was after I got out of the toxic relationships, I started dating other guys as well. And that was the first time in my life that I have been single for so long in my life. No, usually, I think that time I was single for like 2-3 years. Yeah, but most of the time I was like either in a relationship or like dating someone else. So I was like, first time in my whole life, I felt so lonely. And I was like, oh shit, how come nobody want to be together with me? Yeah, is something wrong with me, And it was through the entire journey of being alone and finding myself. That's why like today, the relationship that I'm in, I can say that it's the best relationship that I've ever had in my life. And that's because I know what are some of my non-negotiables. And for me, like the number one thing that I feel very, very strongly about is I'm very growth oriented lah. Like I need a partner who understands and support this growth together with me. So recently I was just having a chat with this friend. So he said that the reason why certain people in a way like are attracted to each other is because they have a match in values. So like let's say if you have like 5 core values and the other person has 5 core values, if it's a perfect match, right? Wow, you guys will be like a super couple. But let's say if maybe it's like 3 out of 5 that is a matching, and then you have to be, are you tolerable to the 2 out of 5 like core values now? I mean, ideally as much as possible, you want to have like the exact same matching set of core values.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
So guys, this in this room, there's this guy called Fang Jie. If he's a girl, I'll marry him. Okay, I'm sorry, my current girlfriend, but that is how hardcore the both of us are. When I met him on Instagram, the immediate day I feel that we can match so well. I literally in my mind I'm like, now the where got say such a thing as best friend, but literally in my mind I'm like, this guy is my best friend. And guess what did I do with him the other day? I literally asked him, hey Fang Jie, let's reverse engineer. Why are we so close? What are, like what BB said, what are some core values that the both of us stand for? We listed 9 stuff: impact driven, abundance, growth mindset, blah blah blah. I think that the biggest takeaway you guys can have, right, is literally go and find your best friend, call them and ask them to do this same exercise. Take that as your list and go and find your boyfriend or girlfriend. So thanks BB for inspiring this. Really, really. Continue.
Yeah. So I think for me, another part is a lot of people, they just enter into relationships thinking like, oh, okay, this guy is supposed to like fulfill like my need and all that kind of thing. But I don't think I don't think it's true. I feel like people always say that, oh, relationships are kind of like 2 halves coming together into one. I'm not sorry for saying this, but I strongly disagree with that. I believe it's about 2 wholes coming together and making the relationship better. Like 2 people becoming better together. Because usually, right, in a relationship, right, there's always one person that is like, I don't know whether you can call it alpha or whether you can call it maybe like the leader. Like a relationship, there's like a leader, and then there's one person that's kind of like behind the leader. And then this other person, right, must be able to support the leader. Okay, let's say if there's a leader in your relationship, right, this person must be able to support the leader. A lot of times in the relationships, right, this person will just drag the leader down. It's very, very, very tiring, right? You don't want to be dating this kind of person. So you know when you have your like set of like non-negotiables, right, whenever like a guy kind of like step on your line, that was what happened to me, right? Because when a guy actually stepped on like one of my non-negotiables, I was like, never mind lah. I mean, it's like the first time that's happening. So basically what he got me to do was, I mean, he wasn't even my boyfriend. We were just kind of like dating. Then he was like, oh, you need to like stop like looking, you need to stop like texting other guys. And then he got me to take my phone out. Then like downstairs my house, no, like in public area, no, he was shouting at me leh. Then he was like, oh, you better like text the guy right now, tell him that you never see him again. Then at that point of time, I think I was too driven by my emotions, because like I kind of like this guy. But then on another hand, I was like, wow, this guy a bit too much already.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, never mind lah, it's okay lah. Just maybe just give him a chance. But no, don't let that happen, okay? If your intuition tells you that it seems like something is like wrong here, and you know, I would say like trust that intuition, and you know, don't let yourself like fall into this trap of like emotions, like being overwhelmed by your emotions just because like you guys have good chemistry. I feel like chemistry is just the beginning. I feel like at the end of the day, what is going to make like a long lasting and committed like good relationship, right, is are your values the same or not? It was true like many years of like experience that I finally figured this out lah, that values are very important. That's why you have to know like your own values very, very well. Yeah, and I always tell other people, and I think especially for the ladies lah, let's say if you're in a relationship, one thing that girls are always love to do is they love to guilt trip the guys. Guys, I don't know whether y'all can relate. Now y'all can relate. Just raise your hands, so at least I know. Yeah, girls always love to guilt trip guys one, and then they always say that, hey, I sacrifice so hard for you, you do nothing for me, and this and that. I tell you, guys hate this shit one. Guys don't like this kind of thing. I can see the guys seriously nodding. Okay, so one thing about girls, right, is it's not say that you can't be like the leader or like the alpha of your relationship, but one thing that you have to understand, I think a relationship, right, it's not about getting together with a person and then after that it becomes like a fantasy, like a fairy tale. Like seriously, it's all these movies that ruin what we understand of relationships. It's so unrealistic. You know, it's super unrealistic. Like I have this guy friend, right, and he loves Disney movies, you know, like he's a Disney movie fanboy, and the kind of like his expectations of a relationship, wow, when I listen to it, I was like, I want to faint really, you know. It's like, it's apparently like this kind of some kind of fairy tale. No, love is not a fairy tale. Love is a learning lesson. Like when two people come together, it's always a learning lesson. It's an educational journey. You are constantly learning about each other, and don't expect the guy to know like, oh, you're supposed to like do this for me, you know, and you're supposed to like buy flowers for me on Valentine's Day. You're supposed to do this for me. Why you never do this? You don't love me, is it? Wow, I tell you, guys cannot stand this kind of thing, man. So I think as a female, you have to understand that like when it comes to dealing with guys, you need to be a little bit more understanding, and you need to be, don't be afraid. You have to teach them, because if you don't teach them, they also don't know what. Yeah, don't expect like, you know, they just read your mind. I know females are like that lah. I mean, like females, we are very close to each other. We kind of like have intuition, but guys are different. They're very logical people. They're problem solvers. So every time you come to him, right, you just want him to listen, right? But he will just give you solutions and solutions, man. Usually that's the case lah. Like even my boyfriend, I tell him like, actually I don't need solution, just shut up and listen to me. Yeah. So you have to understand like what's the fundamental difference between like a guy and a girl, and not have that kind of like expectation. Okay, so another thing is like people always want to have like expectations in a relationship lah, and I kind of like learned this the hard way as well. The best way to, you know, handle a relationship is if you can have like as little expectation of the other person. That would be the best. I know like, you know, having a little bit of expectation is kind of like inevitable, but if you constantly have the expectation of someone, right, like, hey, how come you never celebrate my birthday, or like, hey, you never like buy present for me, or you never bring me go out on dates, kind of thing, I feel that it's very unhealthy, not only on you but for the other party as well, especially if you didn't communicate this clearly. And one thing that I learned is that the most important thing in having a successful, okay, not just values, another very important thing is communication. Communication is everything. Okay, don't always assume that the other party will know something. Chances are is that it's not that they don't love you, it's not that they don't know about you, it's just that like you guys just never communicate openly about it. But then if you guys have any questions, just type it in the comments below. disclaimer, we are not love gurus for those people who just came in. We're not love gurus, we're not love coaches, we're just sharing like our experiences lah. Yeah, so just now when I talked about like, sorry, I really have got to mention a point. Just now when I talk about like two halves coming together into like one person, I don't believe in that. I believe it's two full people coming together and making each other better lah. So another thing is that, you know, in order for you to be that one full person, right, you need to learn to love yourself first. Because a lot of times, right, when we enter into relationships, right, it's because we feel empty in a certain place and we come together with another person because that person fulfill that need, like what Daryl said just now. So like what Daryl said just now, you know, if this always happens, right, like at the end of the day, you realize that, hey, I don't need that need already. And then after that, in a way, your relationship kind of like, it's gone already, like your relationship. So it's like you have to like be fulfilled yourself first. You have to be happy on your own. Do not depend on the other person for your happiness. And that was what I realized that I was doing. And it only became apparent to me when I was caught in a toxic relationship, because the guy always depended on me to make him happy, and I felt so suffocated. Yeah, it was only that then I realized that, oh shit, I've been doing this same thing always to like all like my ex-boyfriends, and then now I'm like getting my karma back, but like 10 times the karma.
I want to put something on that. So just now you guys have heard like how I continuously keep looking for girls outside, right? The real stuff, after now that I teach art of internalizing, right, I use it on myself when I was 23 years old, after the second breakup. And I realized that the root cause is because daddy and mommy never spent time with me when I was younger. And I always crave for a sense of belonging. Me and my sisters were never close until I got older. I was the worst koko, beat them and shit like that, right? So what happened was, after coming to this realization that deep down, I just want to to feel sense of belonging. That's why I keep going. Tuition also going to ask for girls' number. Club also going to ask for girls' number. I want to, and another thing, right? Another root cause. One is sense of belonging. The second root cause is what? Attention, which is very closely related. That's why in school I was a class clown. That's why in clubs I just want to get people to notice me, right? Things like that. And if you are able to identify your root causes, solve them first, be a whole first, then you embark on a relationship, you are way better. Give you an example. Knowing that I like attention, where the hell did I put it? I put it positively. Hence, I created DMYK. So I don't need other girls out there to give me attention, but rather I built this relationship with my followers, my tribe. I'm doing it more healthily because I got that awareness. Then a good girlfriend came along, and now I don't need her to feed off the attention from her. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, so suddenly I just got inspired. Thanks, baby.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, so I think yeah, so the part about loving yourself. So how do you know how much you love yourself, and like when are you prepared and ready for a relationship ready, right? It's to the point where you know that you are able to walk out of a toxic relationship. Or let's say if like your partner like leaves you, and then you just be like, okay, he's leaving me and I feel like it's his loss. Seriously, my partner leave me now, right? I'll be like, okay lor. I mean, I'll be upset. I'll definitely be upset, but I will be accepting of it, and I'll say that it's okay. I think that it's his loss. You know, that's how much you love yourself. You know, because if you don't love yourself, right, like people will always like, you always think that your self-worth is pegged to other people, but you need to know that your own self-worth like is something that is determined by yourself. And that's why I realized that a lot of people don't do. They let like other people like tell them like how much like they're worth and all that, but really it's really determined by yourself. And if you want to have good relationships, the first step is to loving yourself. And how to love yourself is you have to understand yourself like really well. I feel like we don't have enough people like doing that lah. And you know, that's how I feel like everyone should, you know, embark on this journey of like really understanding who they are as a person, what makes them happy, what makes them tick, what are their weaknesses, what are their strengths, and how they can work on this and be aware of like your own temperament and what are like your needs. Are you like together with this in a relationship with this person just because certain needs are being met, or is it because you know, like you genuinely like love this person and you guys want to grow together like as a couple to achieve more things together? Yeah. Let's see. Well, I think I covered quite a bit of things. I still have a lot of things on my list. Daryl, you have anything else to add?
Right now, I never prepare anything, guys. I tell you, this is
Okay.
not more presentation. It's literally anything I got inspired, I just share.
Yeah, okay. Okay, then I cover one more thing. So
Mm.
just now I say that girls, right, they like to like guilt trip guys and say like, oh, I sacrifice for you and all that, right? I mean, like ladies, when you actually do this kind of things, right? I just have a question for you lah. If you always like say like someone you always like sacrifice for someone and like how what's weta in English
Noble.
yeah, like you always perceive yourself as like very noble, right? And I have a question for you is that are you showing the same kind of nobleness to your own self?
Mm.
Because that's where it begins. You
Mm.
know, if you want to be noble with other people, but you can't even be noble with yourself, then I think it's not being noble to other people. You're just being
Mm.
selfish.
Mm.
Because you can't even show that same kindness to your own self and then you want to show it to like other people. This is something I see like very common also like even my friends, it's not even on a, like a relationship kind of level, but also like on a friendship kind of level. So I was like traveling to Scotland with my friends, then this girl and this guy would just keep arguing and arguing about who sleeps on the sofa, who sleeps on the bed, and I'm just like, oh my god, seriously, that's so irritating.
Mm.
Something so trivial, you know. And then like the girl will always feel like, oh, she's like she always want to like sacrifice her life for others, always sacrifice her time, sacrifice her health for other people. But if you look at her own life, right, it like internally she's like a complete mess.
Mm.
So and like my guy friend understands that. He always says that, you know, if you want to help other people, you need to learn how to help yourself first. Because if you can't even help yourself, then how are you going to help like other people if you're breaking down like internally? I mean, like Daryl, like speaking about Daryl, he has to be strong internally before he even starts like his own like AOI
Mm.
classes, right? He has to go through this entire experience himself before he start like teaching and helping other people. If you don't have this experience, you don't have this ability, and then you try to like, you know, teach other people, you try to love other people, it's like it's the same thing. Like for example, if I'm teaching videos, if and then it's like I have no video experience and then I go and teach other people, like everything, like, people will just come back and call me like a scam, or like, you know, like the whole thing will just come crashing down. So it's like the same thing. Always start from yourself first before moving to other people. And I feel that if you okay, so even though everyone understands like love in different ways, right? There are different methods of like loving people. I feel that if you truly like love a person, right? Like love is very kind, love is very forgiving. Like you will never say uh things like oh, I sacrificed for you, therefore I deserve like something back. I feel like it's a very selfish cause, and to me that's not love lah, that's just selfishness.
Mm.
I don't know whether do you understand this, because I try to think of ways of like how can I like explain it
It
better.
makes sense. It does make sense. I guess suddenly I got inspired by that is that one biggest change, right, between my current relationship versus the other two, right, was that I made a very bold promise. I said no matter how angry, how upset, or how negative I feel, I will never use strong words to condemn you. It's very different. Last time I will say things like you are a selfish bitch, get the fuck out of my face. I will be so mean to my ex-girlfriends. Hence, obviously they are toxic back to me, right? They will reciprocate what I give them. But this time round, whatever my girlfriend she emotionally feels, I listen. Probably is because I coach a lot of people, so that trait is in me. But I don't know why this is essential in a relationship, because when you hear them, literally just take yourself out. You are non-biased. You are not a biased person, right? You just literally say, "Okay, I hear you," and you just absorb all the emotions from her, and you try to think from her perspective first. Then you articulate: Is it true that you're feeling this because of that, 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 that? Then she said, "Yeah, sounds like it." From there on, you move for solution. You look for solution. So instead of, hey, thanks for that, Mitchell. Yeah. Instead of going defensive mode, try to, yeah, listen with your heart. Try to understand your other partner. I think that was the biggest difference between my previous two relationships and this one. Literally, I don't go defensive, but I listen to her first.
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, in fact, like what I would like to think of conflicts, right, is not really conflict arise because you want to fight with the other person. But I do believe that conflicts arise because there is a difference in let's say things that you have learned or things that you have brought up to believe in. So it's actually a miscommunication.
Agreed.
Right? Conflicts are actually a miscommunication. It's not because like you purposely want to like fight with each other. So it's really like a couple coming together and understanding what is the differences of each other. That's why I say that, you know, being a couple, right, is actually a learning journey about each other.
I got something to add on. So for Bibi and I, we're not couple, but the both of us went to Tony Robbins, the Unleash the Power Within. She went with her boyfriend, right? So when she mentioned relationship is an education journey, love is an education journey, it's damn hard for you to educate your partner or the other party, right? Pay money, get Tony Robbins to educate for you. So that's why me and my current girlfriend, right, we are on a mission. We're gonna go for. I mean, some of you don't like Tony lah, but for me, I love him. So I will be going for all his different causes with my girlfriend, so that we are aligned, so that both of us have same vision for not just for the both of us, but for our future children. Does that make sense to you guys? Like literally, you embark on this like a mission, a very serious mission. So who you look up to? For example, you look up to this particular person. Bring your partner along, so that the both of you have common values, common traits, which what Baby mentioned earlier as well. Yep. So like just pause a while. We just read the comments, right? So Maybelline have a question. What are some self-development resources that help you guys, specifically the relationship? I guess like what you said, what I said earlier, Tony Robbins really helped me a lot. He just gave me this powerful statement, right? If you cannot love what's within, you cannot love what's outside. You guys know that I have a dream of stay home dad by 35. The fact that I created that means I gave up on my current family. So it was a big wake-up call. So it took me a lot of guts, a lot of time and effort, right, to rebuild my relationship with my dad. It wasn't always good, right? To rebuild my relationship with my sisters. Can you imagine Koko here had to go and say, May, I'm sorry for last time what I done to you. Can I be a nice brother? Because they are also sisters, they need my love. They were so sad that how come every day this guy always spend time with girls outside, don't want to spend time with the girl at home. They were very honest, when I tell them how I truly feel towards them, they share with me, say, Koko, I understand you, I forgive you. And that's how I can build a better relationship with my future children, future family. Start somewhere, start inside, internal family first, before you talk about future family. So, but maybe what other resources you use?
Resources that I use. I watch a lot of Tony Robbins video. I don't know if anyone hates Tony Robbins here, but I feel like if there's one really big factor that I could point to that really changed my life, it has to be Tony Robbins. I feel like it's okay to hate him, but you don't have to learn from someone that you, as in, it's okay to learn from someone that you dislike. Nobody says that you can't learn something from someone that you dislike lah. So I would really say like, keep an open mind and, go and really soak in the resources that he has. He has a couple of books. You can read those as well. Or you can watch his videos on YouTube. Like whatever that you feel that you need improvement on, you can just like type it in on YouTube and just type Tony Robbins and see whether he covers that topic. Actually, I learned a lot about relationships from him as well. Yeah. I feel like if you guys can go for the Unleash the Power Within, that's what it's called, right? UPW. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was definitely like life changing for me, and I don't think like the tickets are that expensive as compared to a lot of other courses.
Yeah. By the way, Brandon said this, YouTube this video, guys. A psychiatrist's guide to conversations. Brandon, you might want to share what is this about.
So what I believe is that most relationships, right, they most of them fail because of communication. Yeah. So understanding what actually is active listening and passive, and how to communicate effectively. That's the most important, right? If you don't understand a person, or because more or not that we tend to try to prove our point, but are we actually listening or not? Yeah. So yeah, that video actually opened my perspective really, 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 in terms of my business, in terms of my sales, in terms of my having effective communication, not only in business wise, but in relationships as well.
Thanks for sharing, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, which is very, very in line with what I just said, right? Don't go defensive and just try to prove a point, but rather listen, hear them out. You are a partner because you are a partner because you are there to absorb some of their emotions, some of their hurt. You bear with them, go through everything with them. So I think that was the biggest lesson learned for myself. Yup.
Yeah. And sometimes when people are like emotional, I think a couple of weeks ago, I think my boyfriend was very stressed and he shouted at me. I was like, whoa, that's the first time like he shouted at me. But did I like take it personally, or did I put myself in his shoes to know that he was very stressed? He was under a lot of stress. So I mean, I was shocked. I have to admit that I was a bit shocked. I was a bit upset. But at the end of the day, I know that he didn't do this because like he wanted to like pick a fight with me, or he was like angry at me. It's not really like my fault. Like, it's just that he was very, very stressed and he needed to like get it out. So where you know the question is like, where is like the breaking point of like where like, is this gonna turn into like a toxic relationship? And I feel that, if let's say if there is you realize that there's a difference in values, then I feel like that this relationship is, if this keeps happening over and over again, and it's not something that you're comfortable with, and you feel like if you have this intuition that tells you to like, hey, you know what, I think it's time to draw the line, then that's when you feel like, okay, I think I should step out of this relationship. Because sometimes you can be very understanding about the root cause. Like when I was in a toxic relationship, that guy, he actually came from I wouldn't say that his family is very broken, but his family was physically abusive to him when he was younger, and he was physically abusive to me as well. That was, I was completely like, I felt like I was very understanding about that. Like I felt that I couldn't blame him for that. But then if he's continued to be physically abusive to me, that's when I knew that I had to leave, because it is something that crossed my values really. Because even though it came from a physically abusive family, right, it doesn't mean that, it doesn't give you the excuse to be like physically abusive to like your other loved ones as well. I feel that it's a damn bullshit excuse lah, just because you were born into like maybe like a not so like healthy family, therefore you want like everyone to be the same on the same level as you. And that's why I feel like, yeah, it's very important to know like where your values are, and know what is like way too much for you to kind of like draw the line. And yeah, that was for me lah. So I was understanding, so I was understanding that he came from a broken family, and that was how he was taught to love, I guess. Yeah, but for me it's like, okay, that is like way too much for me. I was like, okay, I'm out of this now.
Yep. And by the way, Geraldine, right? Geraldine asked a question: how to uncover someone's value in the first few dates? I think it's a very, very solid question. One thing that I like to do, right? I bet you guys have seen it before. 100 questions to ask people. Those kind of website you confirm see before. But I'm very serious about it. During dinner, I will just literally ask the girl. I'm like, hey, are you someone, right, that tomorrow, if let's say I were to buy, money is not a concern, I were to buy a ticket, right, and we go to Bali for 3 days, would you say yes or no? So if she say yes, would you think that she's very spontaneous and adventurous? Most likely, right? Yeah. So that is how you QC someone, and you understand that, hey, that is the characteristics, this and that. Then, like you ask stupid questions lah. If let's say, okay, no, I was about to say, if let's say me and your father drop down, who you gonna choose? Then them down. Something else. But that's how you fish out different values. Like if you're 10 years worth of friendship with this guy, he don't like me, what would you do? What will you pick? Then maybe she'll choose loyalty over something. So that's how you understand and dig out values. I think, just to share, it's not just for dates. It's these literally, recently I just requested for a few understudies. And I know my core values. Literally, like I said, me and Dylan, I just literally find a best friend. I dissect down 9, guys, 9. I can go even more, right? But out of 9, if this new understudy, right, check at least 6, okay, it's a pass, right? So same thing, you don't just apply for your relationship-wise, you can apply for your next best friend, your next boss, your next employee, colleagues, up to you lah. Same logic applies. Yep.
Yeah. For me, how I actually do this, I don't know, maybe it's just a female thing. Okay, maybe I'm just like generalizing females, but I'm very particular about like what the guy likes, what kind of content he's consuming, what are the kind of things that he's sharing on his social media. I'm very, very particular about this. So like last time when I was dating guys, right, like I will always go and check their social media. What kind of content are they sharing? Are they sharing those very lame stuff, or are they sharing like, or are they like sharing like those kind of like weird stuff? Then I'll be like, okay, I don't think I want to be dating this kind of person. But I mean, like whatever that they show on social media, I do believe it kind of like shows what kind of things that they enjoy lah. So for me, it's like I need someone who's very like growth minded one. And okay, I tell you something a bit crazy, but I will go and look at like who are the people that they are following, especially on like Instagram. Yeah, because I know that like guys, I mean like who don't like to look at pretty girls and all that kind of thing. But then it's like, you know, if like the kind of like content that they are following is like girls that's like half naked and like big boobs or like pole dancers. Okay, nothing wrong with pole dancing, but if it's like 90% of like accounts that they are following is like that, I mean that tells me something about the guy. What like I don't want to be dating a guy who's like that. And you know, because okay, I come from the perspective, right, that like 90% of my close friends are close guys, so I know how their mind thinks on, you know. Like I have a friend who actually like his account follow like all these kind of girls and he cheats on his girlfriend.
Oh shit.
He say that, oh, my girlfriend not sexy enough. Then I'm like, okay. So like I believe like all these kind of things, the kind of like content that they consume tells a lot about a person lah. So this is how I do my research and like my homework law. So usually the guys I date is like they're either like not active on social media or like they don't really like consume such stuff. Yeah, usually the kind of guys that I like is like they won't even have time for social media one. Yeah.
And by the way, guys, Mitchell shared with us that women are from Venus and men are from Mars. The best book for relationship. So that's something you guys can take note as well. Yep. Apart from that, any other question, guys? Just feel free to ask us. I think from the Q&A we can uncover a lot of stuff. And if any of you want to share your experiences or your some advice, knowledge, just do feel free to join in as well.
Yeah. Another thing is, that was one of the first few books that I read. And remember I said like I was in a 4-year relationship. After that I broke up. And then after that I read that book, Women from Venus, Men Are From Mars. The moment after I read that book, right, then I realized, okay, I know where went wrong in my 4 years relationship. And it was extremely clear to me where was wrong. And I feel like a prerequisite for every single like couple, right, it's like both people need to read this book. That's how important it is.
I'm going to buy it now.
You know, it's like the love language thing, ma.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you need to understand like guys and girls, like their brains think very differently. So you cannot have the same expectations on a guy lah. Guys, actually they need a little bit more training lah, I would say. Yeah, actually it's very funny because I got this idea from watching Dan Locke's video. Actually it's very cute one. Dan Locke and his wife. I love Dan Locke. A lot of people don't like him, but I don't know why. I like him lah. I think him and his wife super cute. Because you know that like guys are very, very logical. And Dan Locke, she said like Dan Locke is right, super unromantic one. Yeah. So he knows that like everything he does, right, is he follow his schedule to like a T one. You know, he's just that kind of guy. Like because he's very busy, right? So he said like in order to combat this, right, what she do is like she will schedule herself in like his own calendar, and then she will say like, okay, buy present for me, okay, bring me to this place for dinner, and then buy me some flowers, something along those lines. So actually it's very funny, like it's very cute. Like it's really about like understanding how like the other party works and like finding ways around it of like, you know, how you can make the relationship better. Like, cause you know, sometimes it's not that they don't want to take you out on date. Like, it's just that, you know, they don't know, or like they're unaware, or they're just not brought up like this way. You know?
Makes a lot of sense, man. I'm just thinking right now, should I introduce this system? Any question, guys? Any question?
Okay, I got a private question.
Yep.
How to cope with situation whereby you earn more than a guy and his ego is impacted by that? Okay. Actually, if a guy actually before I enter into any relationships, I do ask them lah. I say like, oh, what if like my income is more than yours? And then I mean the guy has to be truthful for you lah. I mean if there is a guy who says that he'll be affected, then I know this is not the guy that I want to date. Because like I said, in a relationship there's usually like a leader and like a person who's like lagging behind, right? If this person lagging behind is not supporting you, instead he's dragging you down, don't bother, don't waste your time with this kind of people. I feel like you that's why you have to know like yourself really well, and you know the right kind of person will be attracted to you lah. That's how I hope that answers your question.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Haha, treat guys like a dog. Okay, I didn't want to say this, but this was exactly what Dan Locke's wife said. Okay, now I say one lah. Yeah. Guys are okay. You just have to tell them like what you want and like what you want them to do, and then like they will know already.
Exactly, just communicate. Like that was what I asked for my girlfriend as well. Just voice out, no matter how deep that. Because sometimes girls will always say this: if I tell you what to do, then you do for the sake of doing. What's the point? How many of you can resonate with that shit? Right, girls? Same thing, right? So, but at the end of the day, you just need to express first, see whether at least the guy, if you want to do it, is a good progress already lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they have anything to add?
I think there's probably like one last concept that I want to cover, which I haven't really touched on. So you guys know like communication is important, values is important, and I feel like the last thing for like happy relationships, right, is about this thing called masculine and feminine energy. It's something that I learned that it really like, because like last time like my friends will always say like, hey, how come like you always like can like talk to guys or like have like a lot of guy friends, why are you close to so many guys, that kind of thing. And I really didn't think about it until I learned about this concept of feminine and masculine energy. So you know, in a relationship there is always like a leader and like a supporter, right? And let's say if you have both leaders, people who are very, I wouldn't say stubborn, but very, very like they push themselves to very, very high standards lah. And you know, it's very difficult for a relationship to have two alphas in a relationship. Like you always end up fighting one. So there's one thing that you guys need to know, right? Is there is, so when two people are too alpha in a relationship, right, there is too much masculine energy. Masculine and feminine energy doesn't matter like whether it has nothing to do with your gender, but rather how you portray yourself to the other person. So like right now, like let's say like I think a lot of common problems that I see in couples, right, is that sometimes women, right, they're very independent. Then they always tell the guys, "Aya, don't do this for me. Like I can do myself. Don't do this for me." That kind of thing. So that's actually like a very masculine energy. And if there's too much masculine energy in a relationship, like the whole thing will just crumble down eventually. And in order to introduce more feminine energy, right? Like recently, one of my friends, she went through this in a relationship, and just knowing this alone, like, make her relationship so much better, right? Is the introduction of a feminine energy into two alpha people. So when you introduce feminine energy, right, it's like, as a female, I know like if you're very independent, this can be a bit like disgusting for you to do, or like, but don't think of it as that way. Think of it as you know, of adding a bit of like playfulness and love into the relationship, right? Because you need guys, right, they have like super huge egos one, even though some of them might not admit it lah, but they got very good huge egos one. So if you don't behave like a female, they will feel very, very oppressed, and the chances of them like going up to like cheat, right? Because you never even give them the chance of being like the man for you. Because every time they try to be a man to you, you turn them down or you shut them down. And then after a while, they just like become completely quiet, or like they become like very silent. And then you ask them like, hey, how come you're so silent? But actually you're the cause of it. You know, you caused him to be this way. And I do know of a very, very, very close couple. And this is actually what happened to them, because the female is so independent that like whatever the guy do, right, for her, right, like she always say like, hey, why you do this, don't do that for me, kind of thing. Then after that, like the man, he just completely like stay silent, don't say anything, he doesn't have his own opinions anymore. And then the lady will be like, how come you're so unromantic one? How come you don't do anything one? Like, but she didn't realize that she's actually the cause of this lah. So like you must always be aware of this feminine and masculine energy. There has to be like a balance. So for me, like in my own like relationship, right, like there are certain things that I can do by myself one. Like especially like if I'm like let's say for example like I'm moving like heavy stuff around, I can say like, okay, hey, you know, I can just like do this on my own. Like you don't come and bother me. But then I always like ask my boyfriend, say, hey, can you please move this for me lah? So like you know it's like really balancing the feminine. I hope this is like a good example for you guys. Like females, you know that you can do certain things on your own, but you must let the guy feel like a man for you. Then he will be very happy.
Makes sense. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of like independent women lah, but then after that they will go in and out of relationships and then complain like, oh, there's no like man that's like right for me. But then in a way they are kind of like causing all these problems that come from themselves. Yeah. Is this clear to you guys? If this is clear to you guys, just give me a thumbs up. Yeah, because it's really a very, very important concept that I learned.
Yeah, man.
Okay, great. Okay, you guys have any other questions? If you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comment section below.
Guys, was this good? Was this fun? It was just the two of us, our random ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, you know what? Let's just bring it online. Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for staying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you have any like questions, you can feel free to DM either of us. Yeah. So yeah. If not, I think we have come to the end of it.
Yeah. Let me know what was like your biggest learning lessons. Just type in the comment.
Yeah. Maybe you can just type in what's your biggest learning lesson. I think for me, I'll write it down as well.
Any advice for someone who has not dated before? Know yourself first.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Actually, I always feel like you don't have to be on the hunt for like a partner. If you know yourself like really, really well, know yourself like inside out, I feel like it's more of like an attraction game. Like the right person will be attracted to you rather than you having to go out and hunt. Yeah. Let me see. Are there any other tips? Don't bother using apps like CMB or Tinder lah. Seriously, guys, I've been on the app for like 2 years before my relationship. Walao, the app is trash, you know. Because I feel like people who are very broken or like they are like incomplete, they peg like in a way that like their self-worth to kind of like using. Sorry if any of you guys are like using the app. I'm so sorry. I don't mean it that way, but I mean I've dated like a couple of guys like on the app, but I feel like most of the people that are actually not most, all of the people there, they're all like broken in some way. They're not really like whole as a person, because I feel like a person who's like really whole, right, they'll be very happy and fulfilled like by on their own already. Yeah, they wouldn't need another person to make them feel happy or fulfilled lah. That's what I think about it. Even when I first started the app, I was like, it feels like very weird because like I don't feel like I should be using such an app lah. But I mean, like after 2 years of using the app, I realized like, okay, yeah, these apps are really damn trash.
Yeah.
A lot of broken people on it lah. Like they are looking for needs. Yeah, they are looking for their needs to be fulfilled.
That's very true. That's very true. So just now James said that consider the environment that you meet the person. Yeah, exactly. So if you naturally think about it, you meet the person in the library, you know, growth mindset already there, knowledge already there, right?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So yes, Alisa mentioned about biggest takeaway is non-negotiable in the relationship, balancing the masculine and feminine energy. Have to identify core values and align with partners. Yes, core values extremely important.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
I do feel like you know, yeah, the environment is super important. Like I think more of what I want you guys to do is kind of like envision what do you want your future to be, who do you want to become, and then in the process of you becoming that person, eventually you will attract all the right people along the way. But most people don't even think about like their future. They don't think about who eventually they want to become. So when I first started on this journey, I know very clear I want to be like the #1 video marketer in Singapore, and that's for me. So you know, like whenever you set like you want to become that somebody, and right now I'm still in the process of becoming. I'm not saying that like I become ready, but you know, in the process of becoming, right, like you feel happy, you feel fulfilled, actually you will attract like all the right people into your life one. But it always starts with yourself. Okay, always start with yourself first.
I can help you guys with that.
Yeah, exactly. Daryl can help you with it. Okay. Where to sign up for your class, Daryl? Must let them know. Reach out to him on Instagram.
Yeah. But whatever that Bibiana say is very, very true. Like last time I didn't really had a vision for myself. Like now that okay, this is a bit ego boost lah. Huh? I will ask my girlfriend, hey, why you pick me? Like oh, so many guys, why you pick me? Then she'll say, oh, because you got vision for yourself, you know where you want to be. It gives me the stability as well. I know what to anticipate. And more importantly, she wants me to push her as well. So it's very important for you to understand where you're going so you pace your partner. If the person say that, hey, I want to be a millionaire, and you go like, why? Just stay contented lah. You know, right off the bat, your vision doesn't align. Not just core value, your vision. So it's very important you spend some time navigating where you want to be before even embarking on, hey, where to find such people. Even I think the same for finding a company lah, right? Same thing for finding friends, same thing. So I think we have come to the end of tonight. So thank you guys for staying all the way.
Thanks guys, it was a fun session. I hope you guys found it useful because this is a super random idea.
yeah, exactly. So for those of you who do not know Bibi, do follow her. Then you can keep in touch with her. Just connect each other lah. See you guys.
Okay, thank you guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.